2, 1. All right, guys. Welcome to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you got a fandom, you are definitely welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how you got your screen flipped. I'm wondering what he's going to come up with this week because he usually has something different every week, so I'm going to let him go with it.
Got to go fast, Joe Tonello.
You know what? I saw you going. You know what? It was between three. Just because we just got to see the same movie, I saw it going so differently. But anyway, how are you, Joe?
I'm good. I'm tired, but good. It was a busy week. I did 40 jobs in one day.
Oh, I can understand.
I set a department record.
You know, I told you they are going to. That's a test. What that is, what you're experiencing is a test. I'm still saying it's a test. Just because those guys are trying to see if you're going to, they're trying to see if you are, it's almost like a Spartan test. They just want to see if you'll break. And if you don't break, cool. We want to prove you to management. But with that being said, guys, we do want to move on to our guest. She has been on here once before, and we're so glad to have her back. As you can see, her IG handle is curly underscore in underscore nerdy. Ty, welcome back to Give It Podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me again.
Oh, we are always welcome to have you back. Because because like I said before, I follow you on IG just because you are always pushing comics, especially unknown and known heroes, especially always just promoting Black excellence, which again I love so much. Again, welcome for that. So before we do get started, guys, we are a family-friendly podcast, as we try to be. Sometimes words do fly, sometimes adult jokes get said, sometimes adult humor gets through it. Hey, we had adult humor in cartoons long before they started censoring stuff, just saying. But with that being said, we are definitely going to go into it. We do want to cover some ground because we did actually cover the Batcast on our previous podcast, in which we had a full panel talking about the Batman movie. Ty, I know you haven't seen it yet, so I really want to know your opinions once you do have some time to see it. Because I've talked about it, me and Joe have talked about it multiple times. But I do want to come back to you sometime down the road when you have seen it, because I just want your opinions on it. That being said, we are going to cover the shows of the week. I think we need to go ahead and get out the heart of the matter. But before we do talk about the Flash, I guess we need to talk about the movie Flash, and that it possibly may be shelved, I guess you could say. Ezra Miller did get into a little bit of trouble these about a week and a half ago, apparently in alcohol and karaoke. Who knew alcohol and karaoke could get your movie canned at Warner Brothers? But unfortunately, there was a restraining order put on him by the couple that he accosted, and there was an emergency meeting at Warner Brothers over the future of Ezra Miller being the Flash. My question is to you guys, do you think at this point that even though the Flash movie, which was going to be the Flashpoint movie, it was going to have all Flashes in it, it was going to have Michael Keaton as the original Batman and a few other surprises, do you think at this point that we just may not have that movie, or the fact that there may be a recasting very soon?
I feel like they might recast it, especially if you already have those big names and people are excited for it. I think there's a possibility they may recast it or be pushed back to a later date. Mm-hmm. Or they might end up saying, oh, Ezra Miller is going to rehab and all this other stuff, and then come out with the movie later. That's what I'm thinking is probably going to happen.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
Can we please recast him? Dear God, can we please recast this man?
Joe's been ready to recast him since Jump Street. And I can't blame him because...
I was fine with him initially. And then came the first time where he assaulted somebody and chokeslammed them and was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm wondering why nothing happened there. Now we got this. Then we got the Snyder Cut, which showed even that the Flash is just as creepy as this man is. I'm never going to let that go.
Just the
touched somebody.
The touching of the foot.
He sat there and used super speed to take advantage of a woman he did not know just because he thought she was pretty.
If you think about it, Wonder Woman, The Flash, all we're missing is Superman and Batman, and you've basically done the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's why Wonder Woman 84 is the one we don't talk about. It
Yeah.
goes Wonder Woman animated,
Mhm.
Wonder Woman the live action, Wonder Woman Bloodlines the animated movie. There is no fourth Wonder Woman movie in this scenario.
We don't talk about 84.
What is 84? I mean, aside the fact that it was the year I turned 1.
Oh my goodness.
I was gonna break out into an Encanto song. We don't talk about 84. No, we don't.
I'll have to get y'all's opinion another day about it.
I mean, I got the
we can tell
do
you
that dance.
Oh, we can tell you about 84. I mean, just a quick. I mean, we can give you a quick synopsis on it. I mean, but before I say it, have you? We don't want to spoil it for you. If you
no, I've watched Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll come back to creepy Flash in a minute. What did you think about Wonder Woman 84?
I actually liked it. I wasn't like crazily in love with it, but I didn't see that much wrong with it.
Things are good and they can be better. That is a lie.
Why? What makes you say that?
The classic salesman pitch.
So the thing that makes me get on that one, the thing that made me not like it, was the fact that they literally had a MacGuffin that granted every wish.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Chris Pine just not get his own body?
That's the one problem I didn't like, and that's where I agree with Joe on that, because
and
that
on top
was
of
the big
that,
gripe.
That's not how particles work, and it was literally the Care Bear stare won the day.
The Care Bear stare.
And the whole subplot with Cheetah is that she just got heels a little bit big, a little bit longer every single time she transformed. At this point, I was wondering if we were going to go full stiletto spikes by her full transformation.
Well, I think that was the only thing that made me upset. I felt like they could have did Cheetah much better. I thought they started off okay, but by the time she actually transformed to Cheetah, I don't think she got the full impact that she should have.
Yeah, she should have been the main villain. I mean, for God's sakes, Maxwell Lord is not a Wonder Woman villain.
Nope.
He's just the most notable person that Wonder Woman has ever snapped the neck of.
I mean,
got better.
I definitely agree on that point. I thought Cheetah could have been a much bigger villain. It could have been taken in a whole different direction, and I felt like they missed out on that.
Because that was the one thing I had an issue with, was how they did her. It's like, you guys sit there and tell me that Cheetah's powers came from the Keystone, where she says, I want to be more like Diana, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I wish to be the apex predator. I'm like, whoa, time out. You basically sat there and said you wish to basically be an Amazon. You're now becoming an Amazon. Oh, that's not enough. I want to be the apex predator. That still doesn't explain how you basically became a female version of a cheetah. It doesn't. Which, again, I was like, okay, Patty Jenkins, I know you. She sat there and said, post commentary, she did not like Cheetah's development, but she was fighting Warner Brothers. Okay, that's fine. I understand it. You're not going to win every battle with Warner Brothers. But like me and Joe were talking about with the Keystone, it's like, wait a minute. You can create nuclear weapons out of midair. But bringing a dead human back to life, let's just play body snatchers. And that's where a lot of people were like, so this man got violated. This man's body got taken against his will and violated for a couple of days. And now it's like for a lot of people, like, we just witnessed yeah, you're right. Kidnapping, held against his will, lack of no consent. Yeah, we all feel a little bit dirty after that. We all feel it's like the end of a Law and Order SVU episode. It's like, yeah, we all feel a little dirty after that part.
And that was the big problem, is that it showed that the stone had no power limitation. So why didn't he just get his own body?
But I will say this.
Y'all's point on that.
But I will say this. I did like the fact of how she learned how to fly, because it really is an homage. It's an homage to her comics in the Silver Age, where she was basically learning how to fly. And I got no issue with that. The whole thing of, learning to go with the flow, learning how the air goes. I'm like, okay, I can live with that. Although I did like the whole Ride the Lightning. I was like, you take the same soundtrack from Thor Ragnarok and just put that with her. I mean, it still slaps. But yeah.
I just wanted her to go to her house, go to her stables, because I know she's got to have stables, and hop on her flying kangaroo. There's nothing wrong with that.
Peter might have an issue with it.
No.
Yeah, that is true.
Peter. Yeah, you know that joke I said a long time ago? I wonder if Peter has an issue with Pokemon, and you said, yeah, they do. And I looked it up. I was like, do they really have an issue with an imaginary animated animal?
We were just telling our friends today, it's like, what about kids with you? It's like, no. I would sooner tell a child, here's a mouse, go fight for money and lodging.
Right. I was like, when you sat there and said Peter had an issue with Pokemon, I was like, you got to be kidding. You're like, no, they really do have an issue with it. I can understand if it was if they were actual living beings, but they're animated. But anyway, no, I did want to know your take on 101. I mean, a 10184 Ty really wasn't bad, but they just had these little, like I said, you have these parts in movies.
The first 30 minutes was perfection.
Yes. I will agree with that.
I agree with y'all. They definitely spent too much on Keystone and all of that stuff, and not actually on who really should have been the villain or the main focus of the villain for that movie.
I mean, that was the one thing I wish they would have done differently, just because I think, don't get me wrong, it's like, as the you know what the funny part is, now that I think about it, the line that Maxwell Lord says pretty much sums up Wonder Woman 84. It's great, but it can be better.
They're good, but they can be better. See, if I want to use Maxwell Lord, this is me just backseat directing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to use Maxwell Lord, I'm going to have Lords and Miller come and make a JLI movie.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. But all right, so back to the Flash.
Back to the Flash. Can we please recast this man?
Let's dissipate. Let's diversify. Let's get the creepy Flash out the way. Because I said he was creepy ever since that DC Access, what do they call it? It was a DC fandom or DC fandom, where he came up and he's like, hi. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. But when they showed him, to me, he was Keanu Reeves high. Like, I mean, eyes dilated. You could tell he was under something because of how he was dressed. Now, I'm not knocking anybody's fashion.
I can sum this up easily. I've not seen that much cocaine since the 80s.
Pretty much. Like, when I tell you Ezra Miller was like, well, we don't really have a clip because we're still filming. So we don't have enough for a trailer because we're still filming. But here's something. I was like, Did anybody look at him and go, we need to put Michael Keaton up for this because he doesn't need to talk?
Well, who would y'all recast for the Flash?
Oh, I honestly would go with the Flash. It's Argon CW.
I think I would too.
Just because I like what Grant Gustin. I like Grant Gustin. His real name alone sounds like a superhero name. So it's like I would probably put him up. Just because, number one, with great writing, he's a great Wally West pretending to be Barry Allen. Because if anybody looks at him, it's like, nah, dude, you're Barry Allen, but every euphemism and cadence and things of that nature, that's Wally West. But you're still a great Flash. And for 3 out of your 8 seasons, The Flash was a good show. But if I had to go outside of that, if I had to go outside of that, there's not a lot of guys because the Flash is kind of like semi-Spider-Man. He has one-liners. He's quick-witted. He has one-liners. It's kind of difficult to find that in Hollywood now because your witty guys are already established. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, I think he will forever own the mantle of Deadpool. I don't think you'll find someone else that could really do Deadpool the way Ryan Reynolds does. So if you look at the Flash, it's like you would probably have to go digging some unknown actors out. You probably have to go give somebody who's breaking into acting or who's been established somewhere and just take a shot.
That's what I was thinking too. Like it'll have to be the Flash from CW, or it would have to be like an unknown actor who could pull it off, which might be actually a good thing because you bring a whole different perspective and not a whole bunch of drama, or you're comparing it to the CW series.
Oh, work for The Walking Dead. Half the actors on there are British. Almost half the actors outside of Jeffrey Dean Morgan and maybe 3 other people are American. The rest are British. Don't get me wrong. The Walking Dead, thank God the series finally ended. I think it should have ended after Negan, but for those that still kept with the story, bravo. But Joe, what about you? Any thoughts on the Flash recasting or anybody you got in mind that would probably fit it?
Zac Efron, because he looks like Barry Allen in New 52.
You just had that one in the chamber, didn't you? You just have that one loaded up.
I don't know if he could pull it off though.
Well, I mean, body weight. I can see that. I can see him playing Wally West.
No, you just get him like some baggy like 50s clothes to hide the physique. You hit the lightning, and then there you go.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I can see a Wally West out of Zac Efron. Just don't have him sing. Just don't. You know what? Have him act the way he acted in Baywatch.
And he's a perfect Barry Allen.
And he's a perfect Barry Allen. Yeah. I can go with that. The way he acted in Baywatch, make him Barry Allen. That is perfect.
I don't know about that.
I can see that. He's a little bit arrogant, a little bit cocky. He's a little bit funny. That's pretty much Barry Allen.
I guess.
I can see that. I mean, it's just like, you know, well, I was gonna say if we ever see a Miles Morales, but technically we are gonna see a Miles Morales, but in animated form. With
I guarantee there's gonna be a scene of live action Miles Morales.
Say what?
I guarantee you we're gonna get he's gonna go through a world where it's live action, and we're gonna get the voice actor, and he's just gonna take the mask off. It's like, okay.
You know what? If they do that, that's gonna be a whole lot of foreshadowing. Because
they can do it in Chowder, they can do it in Spider-Verse.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. Whoever actually do it, you know, because let's be honest, Marvel plays chess. Marvel plays chess. So if they do show in part 1 or Across the Spider-Verse later this year, if they do show that, and you for a split second see Miles Morales, I'm hoping it's the kid from Stranger Things. I can't think of his name to save my life right now. I hope it's him.
Everyone keeps thinking the kids from Stranger Things don't age. That's the problem.
I mean, I think I would like the guy from The Chi. He was in the Black Panther movie at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was him. And he'll be perfect. But I think that kid's gonna play. I think that kid's gonna play or just throwing this out there. I think that kid at the end of Black Panther is gonna play a role with Wakanda forever.
If anything, if they're ever gonna dump Miles into a live action universe, it's gonna be he's gonna fall into Spider-Man's universe. Like, why are there so many explosions? Why is there a robot?
Right. I can see that though. But you know. But I mean, I would like to see the Flash recasted. I think at this point, Ezra Miller, because I did a double check before I went to something else. As of right now, Warner Brothers still sticking with him. I don't know how long it's going to last. I pretty much think that, you know, I think one more incident, that's going to probably be it. I think they're just waiting. I think there's just they're trying to ride it out and see can they get away with a recasting just because of. Like I said, he really gets too much. He gets into trouble way too easy, and it seems to be more and more escalated. So,
have you seen the premise of this movie? It is just out there.
Yeah.
With Zod and only a brief glimpse of Reverse Flash, Zod killing baby Superman, Zod killing Supergirl.
Yeah.
Flash, the Barry behind him, supposedly the evil Flash, but he's not evil yet. And evil Flash is going to kill Batman, and that's why he's wearing the Batman armor. And
right,
this movie is a sheer ludicrous.
Well, I mean, it's a how can I put this? It's Requiem for a Dream if you put it in Flashpoint Paradox. That's about the best way I could put that. And Requiem for a Dream was actually a great movie, but that way of thinking is the same type of story writing they're doing for Flashpoint. Where again, it's like I wish they didn't do that. It's almost like they're trying to reset the universe again. And honestly, I don't want them to. I mean, and I wish, and Ty, you probably heard me say this multiple times. I wish they stopped with the whole restore the Snyderverse. It's not going to happen. They could sit there and, well, we got nominated. Yes, you got nominated, but you didn't win. So at the same time, let it go. But you will tell those folks still saying that Zack Snyder was right. That's why I wanted to get that. I was going to put up that one meme Joe had found where it was literally Stockholm Syndrome for Snyderverse fans. Where it's like, is it something that Snyder did? I was like, that's pretty much how it is. But no, it's just the whole thing about I don't think Flash the movie is going to make it. Now, don't get me wrong, we still have other movies that are coming up. I mean, you still have Black Adam, which we hope that's going to work out very well. I'm honestly not sure.
A lot of
I'm going to
backlash.
be. Say what?
There's been a lot of backlash to Black Adam too.
Yeah, but it's The Rock, so they're
What?
kind of.
With him not being an Egyptian, so that's how they felt. That it shouldn't be the.
Yeah, because it should have been somebody who was Egyptian or actually has an Egyptian background. Which again, I can see that. But let's also be honest. The Rock himself, he, aside from a few movies that did okay, every movie he's been a part of has actually had a great track record. I mean, especially box office wise. I'm sorry.
It's always the same to me. Like, it's always the same. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about this movie. Like, are we going to get the same Rock that is in every single thing?
You're going to get Hercules with magic.
Hercules with magic.
I don't think you're forgetting. I think you're forgetting the one where The Rock reenacted Die Hard as a single leg amputee. Skyscraper or something?
Skyscraper. Something. Yeah, Skyscraper. That's what it's called. You're exactly right. Skyscraper. Where the movie where he's basically a one-leg amputee and he was literally running off the scaffolding and trying to jump, which looked to be about 45 feet across. 45. He was literally tied. You will remember this. You think about it. He was jumping a 40 to 45 foot gap across to the building and was trying to grab the edge.
I don't think I've seen it. I have to go look it up after this.
It's literally Die Hard with the one-legged Rock.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Still fun to watch. I call it. I was like, I kept on saying that was hashtag F physics because that's the same thing for Fast and the Furious. Especially for Fast and Furious, where you're driving a supercar and you're going through building of a skyscraper. And I was like, yeah, hashtag F physics. That'll never happen. But no, I can see Black Adam getting backlash, but DC is banking hard on Black Adam. That is not an all-in bet on Black Adam. I don't know what is, because Shazam! Fury of the Gods, that's going to probably do well. Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, which again I don't understand, because the Lost Kingdom was the kingdom of the Trident, was the kingdom of the crap. What were they called? Trench. There we go. The Lost Kingdom was basically the kingdom of the trench, but I'm like, you command them because you have Poseidon's trident. What is the story behind this? So, but you know what? It's James Wan. James Wan has had a successful record of directing movies and shows. So, and of course they have the DC Super Pets. They're making on that from a kid standpoint. You got Kevin Hart and, again, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart playing Crypto and playing Batman's dog, Ace. And several. Yeah, thank you, Ace, and several others out there. So they're banking on that from the kid side. So DC's got a lot of irons in the fire. It's just depending on what they decide to go with. But yeah, that Flash movie, I'm sorry, I just think that's gonna be, if anything, that's gonna be a few far and in between. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. I mean, do I still think that they're still gonna move forward with the movie? I think so, because right now they got way too much invested in it. But do I see Ezra Miller hanging around? I don't. I mean, I just don't see, unless he has like an Oscar-worthy performance and the movie does bananas at the box office. I don't see him sticking around. That's just me. But anyway, but that was the first Flash. The second Flash, we kind of got to talk about the CW side of things, just because I was concerned. Now it's like I'm certain that maybe the Flash should have ended, because the last couple of episodes. How do we sum this up, Joe? How do we sum up the Flash so far? Because the writing has been horrible.
A gentle decline into madness.
Yeah. Key word on less gentle. I mean, it's just one of those things where I gotta say with the Flash, I love the Flash. I think aside from Arrow, before Arrow decided to go horribly bad with the story writing, was one of the better shows on CW. Flash was right behind it. I just think that they're keeping, for all those that don't know, they're keeping with the time job. But apparently Iris, and I say this with all the love in the world, I have nothing against the actress that plays Iris on The Flash. This is going to sound very Dexter. Iris needs to die. And I mean die. Because she has been, and again, this is nothing against the actress. The actress is a very nice woman. She has played her role. I'm not knocking her. I'm knocking the writing. Because she has now become the albatross of this entire show. Everything is Team Flash. We are the Flash. You've brought your children back multiple times. And on top of that, now you have some sort of time disease to where you can alter and change by touch. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but haven't we seen enough of these so-called time viruses now?
No, I still want to see more I still want to see more lightning swords.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Ty. I mean, Ty, have you seen any recent episodes of The Flash? And if so,
I gave up on The Flash. Like that. It's just too much. It was too much back and forth. It's too much to keep up with. Too many changes. I gave up.
This season started off actually really strong, and it's been really declining.
Yeah. And it's only because, I know what the problem is. And I kind of wish they would let Reverse Flash did what he wanted to do in season 4 and let them get away with it. Because, again, the whole thing of trying to keep Iris tied, because the whole thing is keeping Iris tied in the show. And it was amazing to me that, how do you have a show? You had at one point, Barry wasn't even in The Flash, and it was a great episode. I mean, he had very little time in the show for one episode, and it was great. The next 2 episodes after that, it was a pull-up moment. It was like somewhere along the lines, the writers for the Suicide Squad, the original one, got together with the Flash, sat there and said, "I got an idea. I think it'll be great. It's gonna be terrible, but it's gonna be great."
Well, what makes y'all keep watching it?
Dedication.
Dedication. Can't give it up.
I feel like it's like Batwoman. I watched every episode of Batwoman, and every time I came on this podcast, I said, "Don't worry about watching the next episode. I am carrying my torch. I am the Dark Souls of watching terrible shows to keep people from wasting their time. I'm that guy who's literally sitting at the flames. Me and Joe both, because Joe has sat through some series, only to come back and say, "Save your breath, save your time, go do something else." So, but with Batwoman, I'm not gonna lie. When I forgot her name already. When she took over as the lead in Batwoman, I had a little bit of hope. I didn't think Ruby Rose was the pinnacle person to play Kate Kane. I didn't like the fact that they were pushing a lot of love interest. They were trying to push Allison as a character. I didn't like the fact they tried to make her just simply a darker female version of Batman, which from her Elseworlds tales, she really wasn't that. She was kind of different. But you can tell it was a whole lot of forcing on the show. So when they cast a new Batwoman, I was like, okay, cool. Let's give her a shot. Let's see what she does. And that entire second season was, we can't let go of Kate Kane. You have a new Batwoman. You couldn't let her go. You couldn't let the old one go. She had to be alive. She might be dead. She's alive, but she's different. She's brainwashed. We got to bring her back. We got to let her go. You want to talk about bouncing across storylines? That was it. And every episode, I would come on here and I would say, "Save your breath" about Batwoman. Even in the last season, where I was just like, I can see why it's not renewed. Because it's just, for me, it's like this. If you take great shows, they have to have great stories. The problem with great stories is great stories don't have a long track record. When you tell a story, especially if it's an epic one, it has to end at some point. But the beauty part about stories is there's always another one. But you know, if you tell such a great epic story and you just don't have anything left in the chamber, maybe take a hiatus and come back. That's all I'm saying. Just, I mean, to me, it's like, don't be throwing stuff at the wall and hope it sticks, because that was what Batwoman was doing. They were like, oh, well, we're gonna take Batman's rogue gallery and give you carbon copies of them. Why? Oh, we're gonna take the gadgets that Batman's enemies used, and we're gonna make them storylines. No. I mean, when I tell you Batwoman was good and terrible, it really was good and terrible. But the Flash, though, is starting to head that route. I mean, it's almost as if they wanted the CW drama. But let's be honest, it's a CW. We know CW is going to have their teen dramas. You got to have your relationships. You have to have your betrayals and all this stuff. But you would think for most superhero shows, it was like maybe 20% of it. Now it's almost over 70% of it.
I swear to God, if I have to sit through Chester and is it Allegra?
Yeah.
I swear to God, they play footsies more than Street Fighter.
You ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Like, literally, we already established they like each other, and I understand you're socially awkward with each other. But at this point, you're just playing footsies in Street Fighter of, oh, I like that. Oh, well, that's great. That I like that too.
But it's the will there, won't they?
Do something? I don't know. Should we do something? It's that. I mean, I play footsies better in Street Fighter than this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's only because I use Laura, but still.
it's the will there, won't they? I'm so tired of that.
It doesn't need to be a will there, won't they? Because they've already established that they like each other.
Yeah.
And they've said it to each other. There's no will there, won't they in this anymore.
But they keep on teasing it. That's the thing that annoys me.
But why?
Exactly. It gets to the point where it has no payoff. When it gets to that point where it has no payoff, it's like, what are we really doing here? Because that's all the way I feel. It's like, to me, it's like, what are you really doing at this point? If you're not doing anything, then do us all a favor. Just leave it be where it is. Don't bring it up anymore. I would think. To me, that makes the most sense. But I could be wrong.
Soap operas wrap up love stories quicker than this.
I mean, they did wrap up that Dallas Who Shot JR in about 3 episodes. So you ain't lying. But that tells a lot about our age. But no, Ty, you're not missing a lot on the Flash. It's like, I understand why you skipped it, because again, you would think because of superheroes that we're interested in, that we watch, it's just that it just doesn't catch. And when it doesn't catch, people lose viewership. And with viewership comes cancellations. That's why, only Superman and Lois and what's the other one? Yeah, and the Flash are the only ones that are renewed. As of right now, because I keep checking every day, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, Nancy Drew. I don't know who still watches Nancy Drew now I think about it. And like 3 other CW shows are still sitting in the wind. But they may not get renewed, because I could see Superman and Lois going over to HBO Max, just because Superman and Lois, again, great show. And the Flash, I still think season 8 is going to be it since they renewed. But again, I'll leave it be. But speaking of Superman and Lois, we can go into that, because I still think that's probably one of the more shining stars right now in CW. What's that look for, Joe?
It's weird that Bizarro Jonathan Kent is just 90s Connor Kent.
Yeah. And
I enjoy him more as Connor Kent.
I like the fact that his powers were showing up. I was like, who knew it? Who knew a little bit of kryptonite? Who knew a little bit of ex-kryptonite? Your powers start showing up on their own. But then again, they did show a little bit of foreshadowing as Superboy in his case, as Punk Superboy. But no, I do like the fact of, I'm not going to say this was a season finale. It kind of felt like it's building up to it. I mean, Clark was gone for the majority of the episode, in the most recent episode, I should say. He was gone on the other side. And yet again, Superman without Superman was a great episode. It really was. Jordan coming into his own. The boy needs to wear a mask. That's all I'm saying. Learn from your dad. Learn from your dad. Wear a mask. The guy with the hood has been done. It's like people gonna be like, Green Arrow? No. Do you see a bow anywhere around me? I could see that. But no, his whole thing, I like the fact, his mom, which again, I was kind of mad, Lois, at one point. I don't want you doing what your father does. I have superpowers. And his mom was like, she wants to say something, but it's like she can't pull rank on him. It's like I'm sorry, Ty, because I know, Ty, you got kids. So it's like y'all moms pull rank when y'all know y'all can't win. But y'all's Uno draw 4 is the pull. I'm gonna pull the rank card on you. Like, you're really gonna say that to your mother?
Let this be known before you ask. I have no dog in this fight on that particular statement.
All mothers do it. I got no shame in saying it. My own mom does that to me, especially when I have the upper hand. It's just like, oh, really? So you gonna repeat what you said? Draw 4. That's like, and you can't say nothing. It's at that moment of you're at that line between life and death, and your mom's on the other side. Like, choose your fate. Which one do you want to go? But no, it's like but going back to Jordan, it's like when he talked to Lois was like, you're going to listen to me. And he's like, I really don't have to. It was a look on his face like, I really don't have to listen to you. Because, I mean, he kind of had that, I have powers. I should be helping. Dad's not here to help. So let me help. It wasn't up until Lois Lane was in trouble. It's like, I think you need to let him. You just see her dad go, I think you need to let the boy help. And you just see him kind of, you kind of see him go into his powers, but at the same time loses his girlfriend. I'm like, we already have a Spider-Man. Don't give us that Spider-Man ending where he has to be like with great power. I can literally, as the girl's breaking up with him, you can just literally hear with great power comes great times of being single. And I was like, with great power, you got to be single. You can't get one win out of this. But no, I did actually. But again, I love Superman Lois. Like, what do you guys think? Because I'm like, I know that show just. I don't see Superman Lois having bad episodes. But what have you guys thought about Superman Lois so far?
I'm still catching up. I think that was one of the ones y'all put me on to last time. So I'm still catching up. I think I was at the part of Lois and her sister. And then like I'm trying to reveal and like say everything was kind of framed. Yeah. So I was at that part. So I'm still catching up.
Oh, you're in the good part. I know Joe's caught up with it. What do you think, Joe?
It was good.
I mean, I'm still waiting for Punk Superboy. I'm waiting on that. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I can see that's one reason I was saying. This is the reason why I was saying there's great episodes of Superman and Lois and okay episodes. But even an okay episode of Superman and Lois is like the Flash's best episode currently. That's about the best way I could put that. Because even with Superman and Lois, I love the fact that the story remains consistent. There's a little bit of action in it. There's a little bit of comedy, and that every other character is really, it's not just supporting it, but it has its own standout moments. Because I still laugh about the whole thing with Jordan and his powers. It's still funny as all get out to me. But aside from that, really not a lot else from CW. I think that CW is still talking about selling off their intellectual property. I kind of still see a lot of it going to the wayside. I see Disney coming in with their Infinity Gauntlet and saying, "I'll take some." Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's two things Disney will never get. I think Disney will never get Sony, because if they get Sony, that means that they have Spider-Man, not just borrowed rights. They'll have him flat out. I also think they will never get DC. I think it's like an unwritten rule that Disney cannot have DC.
I don't think that'll happen either.
But trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney's not trying. Because, like I said, I just want to see Mickey go around with the Infinity Gauntlet and just go around and say, "I have a spot for you, DC. I have a spot for you right here. You might as well join the fold." But no, beyond that, two other shows. Move right along. Of course, hey, I'll start with Halo first because me and Joe have differences on Halo. Ty, have you watched Halo yet?
I have not.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you right now, for me, I think it's great. I will say this. It is different. It is completely different from the video games, from the books, from the comics, from anything you know, there are elements taken from different aspects. Some taken from the books, some taken from Halo 3 and Halo 4 and Guardians. And there are some creative differences. I will put it this way. Like, have you ever seen their film Forward Until Dawn?
I have not. My dad's a big Halo person, so he's been trying to get me to. He's been actually trying to put me on to stuff this week.
Okay, because I will say this: if you ever get the chance to watch Forward Until Dawn, it's a web series. It's a 6-episode web series. I love it just because a lot of the background for Forward Until Dawn actually feeds into the current Halo series. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. If you're wondering, Master Chief will take off his helmet.
Okay.
I know some people. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. No. I'm gonna let Joe. This is Joe time to shine. Go ahead, Joe. What are you gonna say?
Oh yeah, he'll be greatly disappointed. He looks like a generic default character in almost every video game you play where you get a character selection screen. He is generic. He is the generic default. He honestly kind of looks like Commander Shepard in Mass Effect if you just pick default Shepard.
I cannot stop picturing that. But I mean, he's a great actor. He was the guy that played Mad Sweeney in Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
You'd never knew it in this series.
Huh?
You'd never knew it in this series.
I mean, look in the face. I mean, I can still see Mad Sweeney when I see him, aside from the red hair. He doesn't have the red hair, but you're right. But Halo so far, like I said, Ty, I'm gonna keep it as non-spoiler as I can. It is a very different retelling of it. A lot of people do love it. A lot of people slightly displeased with it. Just because it's pre-Halo. Like, it's before the discovery of the rings. So they're trying to make, so it's like, that's what I'm saying, they're taking different elements of the story, which again, I love. Although I do agree with Joe on one point, the whole removal of the de-emotion chip. We could have really done without the, butt naked at the kitchen, at the common bathroom area. Because I'm just sorry. You see a guy butt naked at a kitchen sink in a common bathroom area, and he's taking out a chip out of his back.
Oh, good gracious.
How do you have do you really go, like, I'm gonna be honest, you walk into a common bath, like we've all been in college. We've all seen the common bathrooms where you have the 5, 6, 7 sinks lined up, showers and stalls. I have never sat there and walked into the common bathroom and just saw one butt naked dude just sitting there, just shaving without a care in the world. Because I don't want to run that type of situation. That would make, whatever call of nature I was trying to answer, immediately cut off. It's like, I'm good. I'm gonna go back. But I'm like, there's those awkward scenes, but overall, I still, like I said, if you're interested, you should definitely watch it. But I'll let Joe give his point of view on Halo.
Oh, I didn't even see the full episode. Like, the moment he walked in and like had no clothes, like, I'm done. No, I'm done with this. I'm done with the series.
Once you saw Master Chief. So wait. Once you saw Master Chief's cheeks, you was like, I'm out.
Yeah. It's like you already pushed it with being generic and bland actor with the helmet off. You got a teenage sidekick in the middle of an intergalactic war drama, and now I gotta look at your butt. I'm done.
Well, if you really think about it, in the grand scheme of things, almost every great story has a teenage sidekick. If you think about it.
No.
Name me one great story that didn't have a teenage sidekick.
Hajime no Ippo.
The dog.
Wampa was a puppy. And then immediately fast forwards him to being an adult dog.
True, but he was a sidekick.
And he only came in at 3/4 of the way through the series.
I love how you picked Ippo. I was like, because that's one of my favorite series to watch. But you're not wrong. Because actually, no, I guess you can't count them. I was gonna say
they're adults. They don't count. They're not teenage sidekicks.
I know, because I was about to say his crew, but his crew were all literally grown men, and here's a 17-year-old coming in punching like a grown man. You're exactly right. I can't argue that. But anyway, like I said, you're not gonna be disappointed, Ty, about Halo. Now, the other show, Moon Knight, I was gonna say that because that has been interesting. What if you have seen Moon Knight, Ty? What have you thought of Moon Knight so far?
I've actually liked it so far. I think it definitely have kept my interest. So I'm actually looking forward to the next couple of episodes.
Okay. Joe, I know you have some thoughts on Moon Knight.
Oh, actually, I'm looking because my buddy that's doing my Moon Knight Master sent me the final workup on it. It's amazing as always. It's as good as my Zemo mask.
Yeah, you're doing Mr. Knight, right?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so. So
no, I really enjoyed this episode. I like where the main bad guy just like, do you want some soup? We have very good lentil soup. And even brings up, it's like, so your God has a predisposition to killing people before they commit anything. It's like, so do you kill children? Because I draw the line at killing children.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets up and slowly burns like, well, apparently they're all okay with killing kids.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that the guy was like, oh God, this paradoxical BS.
Yeah.
Arguments. Like, I've heard this before so many times. I don't want to go through this again. I also like that he knows what Conchu's saying because he was the former Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It's like, let me guess, he's saying he is justice.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was like Conchu just going, Stephen, break his windpipe.
Mm-hmm.
That part was funny. It's like he's telling you right now. He's telling you right now to hit me. Yes, I was like, you almost want to hear. Yes, I'm telling him to hit you. But yeah, I did like the fact of Arthur Harrow's character, and it's like he is the most underarming villain you have ever seen. It's like you have a lot of chaos in you. Come sit. Wait, what? I'm not the bad. It's like it's almost like I'm not the bad guy, Stevie. You know what the bad guy is? Khonshu. Why? Why do you do what he wants? And the whole time he's like, this doesn't seem very bad. Come sit down. Have some soup. It's nice. I tried it myself. It is the most disarming villain. Because the whole time he's like, look, Steven, all you do is just give me the scarab. I don't got any more. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's like there's nothing sinister about him until the very end, where it's just like, I knew he can control Amit's power. Like, it's not the whole thing of the balance of the scales, which again I thought was funny. But it was just the whole idea of just like, oh, we have food, we have shelter, but you sleep now. You know, thank you for the scarab, but you sleep now. I was like, wait, you can just decide to just take somebody's life instead of just giving them the chance to balance them out? Okay, that's cool. But Mr. Knight was still, to me, the whole thing. Summon the suit, and he's like, what suit is this? He says, yeah. That's the suit that pertains to me. It looks pretty freaking good if I do say so myself. But I love the fact that when he punched the jackal, he's like, that was me? He's like, great job, Steven. Now let me take over. He says, it's kind of funny where Mark is asking Steven to let him take over. But also, like Joe had pointed out before we went live, it's the fact that the Mr. Knight that we're used to is slightly different from the Mr. Knight that's showing off in the series, which again I love, because the series initially started out with Steven.
It's just Steven in a suit.
Yeah. And that's what I just loved about that. It's just like the whole idea of, you know, showing that dissociative identity disorder, like not us starting with Mark, but actually starting with Steven, and Mark's riding back seat, and then, you know, the whole thing of taking over his body. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm still waiting on one more personality to show up. I'm waiting on one more. And I'm going to go ahead and call it. I think he'll show up in the next episode.
You think so?
I mean, the way the writing is, I love that the writing is so unorthodox. You know, Steven's trying to make sense out of it all. Mark clearly has been through it. He has a lot going on with Khonshu. And that the fact that he's basically serving Khonshu so that way that his former wife doesn't become the next Avatar. So it kind of feels like Steven's kind of walking into the middle of a minefield. And like I said, with a third personality about to show up, that's why I think it's going to make it fun, even though this is supposed to be 6 episodes. But it does draw you in. It does draw you in as far as it, as seeing the suit and everything else, and actually seeing him use the rings. I'm like, I'm okay with this. But I have one theory about Moon Knight, that Arthur Harrow is not just an avatar of Eminent. I think, honestly, he's Dracula.
Okay. Explain.
I think he's Dracula.
Explain.
Well, the simple fact of the matter is because I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, Arthur Harrow really doesn't have a lot, but he is associated in two parts. He's associated with Moon Knight for a very specific time, and you never hear from him again until MS-13, where Arthur Harrow was an alias for Dracula.
Are they going to actually do that or spin it that way?
I want to say that, but I think they're going to play it safe, just because they're being very careful with Blade right now. They're being extremely careful with Blade right now, like to the point to where they're going to introduce him into the MCU, especially along with the Black Knight, with the screen off from the Eternals, because we know MS-13 is going to happen, because Blade and Black Knight are about to take a road trip, and they're already a part of that group. So, do I think they'll go that route? Possibly not, because of same storylines. But let's be honest, Marvel has done what Marvel has always wanted to do, but they've been very wrong in the choices they make. That's just me. But overall, Moon Knight, like I said, Moon Knight has been great. I have loved it. I think Oscar Isaac, if he does not get an Oscar award for this, I don't know what else you gotta do. To sit there and act with a person who has multiple identities and you're constantly flowing between them. The only person I ever seen do that was James Avery in Split, where he literally just shifted between personalities, and I thought that was Oscar worthy. But Oscar Isaac is up there, so that's just me though. But any additional thoughts on Moon Knight before we go on to the next?
No, I was thinking the same thing. Just his acting ability was great. So bringing in a third personality, I wonder if it's going to come with that same intensity, because he really plays just the two different personalities so well.
Yeah. I'm thinking the third one's going to show up, because this is a limited run, and that Loki season 2 is already wrapped up. So we know we're going to get another season of Loki, because let's be honest, Tom Hiddleston could do no wrong as Loki. I mean, that whole entire season of Loki was already crazy. As long as we see Owen Wilson on a jet ski, all will be right with the world in that sense. But it's going to be interesting, because now this will be episode 3, which means we're already at the halfway point. We're already at the halfway point of the series. I think that, the third personality would have to show up in this one, or probably coming down the road, but it's hard to say right now. But I still think it's going to show up next episode. But some other notes we want to say about Mr. Knight, because thanks to Joe for this, because if you've been on Avengers Campus, and for all those lucky people that have been on Avengers Campus, well, you probably noticed something on Avengers Campus. You probably noticed this guy, Mr. Knight, who literally right now is on Avengers Campus. For all those that are wanting to know, if you've been to Avengers Campus, you've probably seen this guy recently. I'm looking forward to going to the Avengers Campus, but now you can actually meet him and hear his screen-accurate English accent. I have never been able to do an English accent. I am not going to butcher it. But just know that if you can pull that off, and especially with that suit, because let's be honest, that much white on that suit is immaculate. And Joe, this is the guy you're going to be cosplaying as. I cannot wait to see it.
I mean, minus the fact that my head won't be twice the size of my torso like this dude's mask is.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, but
Yeah, I wonder if it's like the picture got enhanced or something, because seriously, this dude's head is huge in this picture.
I was going to ask questions about that, but I think they, like I said, they might have zoomed in just to show effect. But I mean, all white down to the gloves, the vest, the tie, not a speck of dirt on this man. I'm actually curious. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's just me. But again, that's actually what they actually have at Avengers Campus. And also, for all those that are wondering, like me, because Joe has told me about this show. Like, Joe, you want to let people know about Star Trek Lower Decks, sir, for a little bit?
It's what happens with Star Trek meets Rick and Morty.
Yeah, which again, they have a new season streaming, season 3, which like I said, I'm behind the ball on this. I have yet to
Starts in
see.
August.
Yeah, it starts in August. Thank you, Joe. It starts in August. I'm still beyond the ball on this. I'm actually going to start once I finish Discovery and Picard, but it looks like it's fun. But I am definitely going to cover that. Ty, have you seen any of the Star Trek series lately?
I have not, but y'all saying that, have y'all watched what's that, Vox Machina on Amazon Prime?
Yes. It is awesome.
You haven't?
I'm not a fan of Critical Role, so
I actually thought it was pretty decent.
It is awesome.
I'm not a big D&D person, which is weird for me, and everybody thinks that's weird, but it's like one of the few things I can't disassociate from like pen and paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I rolled this. It's like, and you hear someone like say they're doing all these elaborate things, but I just like, all right, well, you said you did a thing and you rolled a 20. Cool. Like it just doesn't click in my head for me like it does people. And like, which is odd for me because of everything I do. And it's just the one disconnect I just cannot like connect on.
Really? I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was very Futurama meets Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I love it. Like I said, I usually go back on Amazon Prime because there's some animes on there that are not found anywhere else. That's one of them, along with League of Legends. I love their one they actually have out, but that's actually on Netflix. But yeah, Vox, it is definitely not for kids. I gotta point that out to some people. It is not for kids. So you see it, it's like, do yourself a favor. Don't let your child, if your child is not over the age of 13, don't let them watch it. They will learn some stuff that you are not ready to talk about.
That is true.
But no, between that and The Boys, which I can't wait for June. Oh, I cannot wait for June to come around for The Boys. That is going to be awesome. But anyway, I was trying to think of anything else before
we got Young Justice.
Yep, that's gonna. When's the new season coming out for that one, Joe?
We're on episode 4.
Oh, it's already out. Oh, I'm way behind the ball. Okay, I'm completely behind the ball on that.
Yeah, we just finished the Aqualad arc. Calder finally has time to mourn and chill.
6 episodes later?
No, like his arc ended this week.
Okay.
So now we're moving to the Dick Grayson arc next week. So we get a whole bunch of resolution for Calder and for Aquaman. And I think he may be also in a 3-way relationship between his boyfriend and Dolphin. We also see that Lagoon Boy is part of a polyamorous marriage that just welcomed a baby, which may be his baby.
Scandal. I'm sorry.
No, there's no scandal. I think that's just a thing that's natural down there.
I mean, I guess it wouldn't be beyond the realm of comprehension, but
we also get to see King Shark in his natural habitat as Nanawe, King of the Reef, one of the city-states of Atlantis.
I just can't get past the James Gunn version of King Shark. I can't get past it.
Because he's in the ocean and he's dealing with merfolk, he's a bit more articulate, but it's basically the same guy. He's slightly more articulate because it's his people.
Yeah, and also as a second note, yes, the Suicide Squad. I don't know if I think we did cover this. I think we covered this the week before, but the Justice League. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been delayed, but not for what you think. It's not a part of a breach or anything. The fact that they do want to go back and polish the game, which again I'm all for. I don't want a game that's been rushed, that's been botched, that's full of glitches and things of that nature. So again, we can definitely wait on that. But go ahead, Joe.
I was just looking forward to Moon Knight. New anime season has started.
Oh, the Shield Hero. Have you ever seen the Shield Hero on Crunchyroll, Ty?
I've seen a couple of them because it comes on Amazon Prime too.
Yeah, Rising of the Shield Hero. Yes, it actually did start. It actually did start this week. I was a big fan of it. It kind of took a while to get into. The first couple episodes were kind of rough. But once you get past, I think it's 6 or 7, it takes off. I'm still waiting on word. I mean, I'm still waiting more toward the fall just because Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't start until October. My Hero Academia doesn't start the Hero War Arc until then. And then the crown jewel, in my mind, the crown jewel of this year in October, finally, Bleach, the 1,000-year Blood War, will finally start showing in October. And I cannot freaking wait. I have reread that manga so many doggone times. I cannot wait for the anime. just because number one, I didn't like how initially Bleach ended. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of it's like you know what it is? It's like Full Metal Alchemist, the first one, how it ended. I didn't agree with it. I mean, I understand the creator, you know, he was fighting the studio, he was fighting the executives on actually getting the ending that he wanted. He didn't get it, which made Brotherhood so much more satisfying. I mean, if it came down to it, I do like Brotherhood a little bit more than I do like the original. I still give respect to both of them, but in this case, with thinking about Bleach, the 1,000-year Blood War, it is going to be awesome. But those three animes right now, I'm looking forward to, again, farther off in the fall, especially Jujutsu Kaisen. But I'm actually going back on Crunchyroll because now that Crunchyroll and Funimation have merged and have merged to become one thing now, I'm trying to go back. And I always want to ask people this because you like me and Joe, we all watch anime. What's an anime that you're really on right now that you want to watch? That you just that if you had to recommend for someone to get lost into right now, what would it be? What would be an anime that you recommend to people?
Bangu Stray Dogs.
Ooh,
I really enjoyed that. It was on HBO Max too.
Yes,
but that one I think they're supposed to be coming out with is that a season 3 in the fall? But that one,
yeah, that's also an October. That's also an October release.
Yeah,
I love Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs was the reason how I found Stray Dogs because you know how most things on YouTube they have this top 10. People have this top 10 of anime to watch. That was number 3, and that made me go look for it.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only reason I know about Stray Dogs was because I forgot this. You know how these people have these survey groups like top 10 anime of 2021 and all that stuff. That's how I found it, and I was like, I love the fight sequences on this. And I love the anime and the drawing and the flow of it all. That's what made me go find it. But yeah, I could agree with you on Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs is definitely good. Another one, because I'm a Gundam fan, and I have to thank Joe. I have to thank Joe for this one. And forgive me, Joe, if I completely destroyed the name. But they're actually coming out with another season of it. Gundam Build Fighters. I think that's how I pronounce it.
Yes.
Yeah. If you like Gundams, think of like, how can I put this ever so nicely? Think of if Gundam.
You take your models and you smash them together and you turn it into a video game.
Right. But it has a great story behind it. Like for me, I'm a Gundam fan. There's not too many Gundam series I don't watch, but that one I did not know about. Joe actually turned me on to that, and it's a great series if you ever get a chance.
Build fighters try, stay the hell away from build divers.
Build divers is a little on the corny side. I'm not gonna lie.
Bad.
It's a little on the corny side. But I was gonna say animes I could recommend to you. I think Ty, you kind of watch same things me and Joe watch because you watch Jujutsu Kaisen. You probably watch. Have you ever watched Radiant?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Radiant is pretty much it's like Yu-Gi-Oh without dueling cards. And I've actually discovered that's actually an older anime. But again, if you ever get a chance, definitely watch Radiant on Crunchyroll. Also, The God of High School. If you've never seen that anime, it's a fighting anime. I highly recommend that because it's right now. It initially was a webtoons. It was a webtoons comic, but if you've never seen it and you like kind of like Dragon Ball-esque fighting, because it's really just a fighting tournament, but I just like the story and the artwork. The artwork is like it's like a Neo shell shaded Akira style drawing, and I think it's great. That's just me. I like fighting animes more than anything else. Some story animes are good, like King and Ashura, Baki. I know I'm missing one more, as I'm trying to name every anime I've been watching currently. But just saying, I just wanted curious because I was like, I always try, what animes people watch. I always want to get their ideas of it all, because some people do watch more of the shonen types, some people watch more action types, some people watch more story types, and some people are in for the more drama types. And then you got those like Tenchi Muyo. Not knocking those who are Tenchi Muyo fans, but you know who you are. That's all I'm saying. But no, I was just curious about that for you, because I was like, I know you do watch a lot of anime, and I know you do I do know you follow a lot of comics. So before we kind of go over to Joe and his news and his comics, are there any comics that you are currently into right now, or just want to share that you think would be great for people to read?
Before the comics, I don't know if y'all checked out Blood Lad 2. It's not too old, but it's an older, like, vampire fighting kind of underworld zombie.
You have my attention. Where is this found?
You should be able to find it on Crunchyroll. I don't think they completed all the seasons. I think I finished it.
I remember this.
But
I'm looking this up on my phone as you're talking, but go ahead.
It's pretty good. It's like comedy, fight scenes, a vampire who's crazy about like mangas and superheroes, and just a lot of different mythical people.
You said it was Blood
Lad.
I'm sorry. I'm looking this up as you. Looking this up as you guys are saying. I apologize, because I was like,
no, you're fine. And then, as far as comic books, I'm still just reading Nubia, waiting for the next one for Naomi, which I think is supposed to come out in May or something like that. So that's as far as, and then I just finished reading the book Akata Woman, which was interesting, from Nigerian kind of witch and voodoo characters.
Nice. Okay, I got it. I'd add it to my watch list as y'all were talking about it, so I'm good now. So I was like, I have to watch that, because you sat there and said a vampire that wants to be a hero. I cannot knock that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Nubia? Because I know Joe, we were covering the Trial of the Amazons, and have you been following the Trial of the Amazons? And if so, what do you think about it?
So I haven't finished all of them. So I really think I've only read the first 2. I have all of them saved. I've just been taking my time going between the comic books and everything else. So far, it starts off good. Yeah. But those are just me reading those first 2. From there, who knows?
Okay, because I was just curious, because number one, I do love Wonder Woman. I do love the Trial of the Amazons. It's a shame that we won't get to the pinnacle point of it, because things happen in the DC world. I get it, I understand it, but do we need another Batman story? We don't. And I'm a Batman fan, and I said wholeheartedly we don't need another Batman story. But yeah, I mean, I dig it, as far as especially the trial with one character who gave 0 Fs, and I mean, she gave 0 Fs about what everybody thought. And it was funny, because I had her pegged as number 1 suspect. I'm not gonna lie, but I had her pegged as number 1 suspect in the whole thing. But we'll never know. But that being said, Joe, what news and comments do you have for us, sir?
So, anime from spring 2022 that I've been looking at, coming out. A lot of it's coming out already. It's Spy X Family, which has been a fairly popular manga.
Oh, I knows it.
I see Ty really likes that.
I'm hoping to hear the little girl's voice, especially when she's thinking in her head. Yeah, how her voice is going to be.
Yeah, I got to watch it in a little bit after this. I was really looking forward to it. Premise is really cool. It's kind of like Disney's Replacement, but you get lethal assassins as his parents now. And the little girl's psychic, so neither parent knows each other. I believe that's what it is, right? Neither parent knows each other is a lethal assassin, but the daughter's got experimented on, so now she has psychic powers, and she knows both of them are assassins. She's like, my parents are super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
And then they bring the dog in, who I think is supposed to be like psychic too and has been experimented on.
yeah. Komi-san Can't Communicate season 2 has dropped. I really enjoyed that first season. Very nice, cute slice of life. The series with the name that does not match the series, Tiger and Bunny, got a second season. I'm really looking forward to that.
You're not lying. I just thought about it. You ain't lying.
I remember stumbling upon that. It's like,
what is this?
looking at two Japanese superheroes, like, why in God's name?
You gotta explain Tiger and Bunny because
Tiger and Bunny.
I'm laughing because I know it. You gotta explain the time.
Tiger and Bunny is a Japanese superhero anime where superheroes gone corporate, and one character is named Wild Tiger. And the first season, a hot new hero comes out, and to mock him, he's nicknamed the superhero Bunny. And it's just like really fun superhero things. They actually made a Pepsi centered around the girl that was sponsored by Pepsi in Japan. I think it was Pepsi G Next or Crystal Next or something.
No, you was right the first time.
Oh, it was G Next?
Yeah, it was G Next. You're right.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to sit down and watch season 2. Unfortunately, Netflix is kind of a thing over here in my house, so only one person can use it at a time, and family members really, really got to watch their J dramas and interrupt my viewing. What else am I watching? Skeleton in the New Kingdom or something. It's your standard isekai series, but it's like an overpowered dude who like chooses his avatar as a skeleton so he can't remove his armor. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're really high up at night," and he's like, "I have no money." He like goes to a bar tavern, like the Adventurers Guild's like, "I need a license." They're like, "Why do you need a license? You have this." And he's like decked out in the equivalent like level 120 White Knight, Holy Knight armor, and he just like for reasons.
Nice.
It got a little bit tested my waters because it started with a group of bandits falling upon two noble women.
Yeah.
And it escalated to essentially what you thought it was before the dude just teleported in and immediately slashes through three things. Like, is this really going Goblin Slayer?
Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, the opening of the first thing. It's like, it started, and then the theme song kid. Then I was like, okay, this is more lighthearted. It just ended up like this.
You do know that they actually on Crunchyroll they actually did mute that. They went back. They went back and actually cut that part out.
What else am I watching? Yeah, here it is. Skeleton Knight in Another World. What else am I watching right now? The Tokusatsu anime series, because Tokusatsu is becoming more and more prevalent in anime. This time we have Love After World Domination, where the Red Ranger of Freezing Sentai Gelato 5 decides to ask the main girl of the evil forces to become his girlfriend, and she just accepts.
So Power Rangers.
Now it's a let's date behind the scenes, so neither side. She's like, if they find out you're dating me, it will be an international scandal for your team.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and they do the whole thing for Power Rangers. Like they do the whole Sentai thing, the name chain, the henshin, the posing. They even have like the Power Rangers explosions that happen around the feet.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, not just for the Sentai aspect of it. It really is like a cute little thing. And then what else am I watching? Ao Aishi, which is just soccer sports anime, because for whatever reason I like sports anime.
Yeah. But then again, that's just like dang. I was now catching up on those basketball and soccer animes. I can't name them all, but I kind of have them saved in Crunchyroll. But a lot of them I want to go back and go watch because apparently you
You got to go on third-party sites and watch all. No, actually, you can watch all of Slam Dunk on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's there because I got it on my watch list. It's there. But Food Wars has kind of got me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Food
hurry
Wars
up and watch
draw
Food
me
Wars
in.
because they are taking it off Crunchyroll soon.
Oh, I have it through other means.
Gotcha. What else am I watching? Build Divide Code White. This is just season 2 of the new card game in Japan, Build Divide. And what else am I watching? Shadowverse Flame, which is season 2 of the Shadowverse anime, which is the Shadowverse is the Hearthstone in Japan. And I'm going to give the new Yu-Gi-Oh series a try. I don't know.
I can say that, but I kind of gave up after that Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal.
Actually, I can say Reigns has been pretty good. The new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series kind of reboots the game entirely. It's not an added-on mechanic.
Okay.
What else did I just marathon that like everyone always gives me? Oh yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon. I marathoned the whole thing.
How many episodes was that?
Like 120.
Impressive. I can't say.
I'm a man who watches One Piece day to day, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to do One Piece, so I'm not. I can't talk about him. I'm trying to watch One Piece from beginning till now.
I mean, I'm actually really. It was a very enjoyable series for Pokemon because it's one of the few times where it shows Ash remembers that he fought for 4 through 5 and 6 other regions before coming here, so he's not making idiot moves or stuff. You actually do get some really tearful and really mature themes, like what happens when a Pokemon dies.
Yeah.
Or found family, or just very mature things like finding out your dad's alive or being able to say goodbye to a parent that's been departed.
All I gotta sit there and say is how old is Ash by now?
See, that's the interesting thing because I just saw a screenshot for the new series, and one of his former teammates now looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah,
from the way they've drawn her, and Ash is still the same.
See, that's
did encountering Mew and Ho-Oh the first episode time lock you?
I think it did. Because I'm sorry. I got nothing against Pokemon, but Ash looks the same. And the only thing I thought Mewtwo had something to do with it. I'm going to be honest. I thought Mew and Mewtwo had something to do with it. When he tried to run the fade on Mew, I think that's what did it.
Are you sure it wasn't seeing Ho-Oh in the first episode? Despite the fact that Pokemon Gold and Silver weren't even in concept phases yet, but
that's also
still
possible.
Put it in there?
That's also possible, but still, I mean, the guy didn't age. I'm like, Brock by now has a wife with children. It's like, you can just imagine going back to Ash. How old are you? I'm 12.
No, I can confirm Brock does not have a wife and children. He is now, what's the term children use these days? We're old. Oh, wait, I remember. Sipping over the rock kahuna.
He's still carrying a torch. Oh, man. That just made me think.
I mean, plus it's also the first Pokemon where he wins the whole league.
Still, that just makes you think. Like, Pokemon was what? 94? 5? 95?
No.
Or it's older than that. Huh? Like, I'm trying to think. When did Pokemon first start? I want to say 97. I'm sorry. When Pokemon came to the U.S. Not when it started. When it came to the U.S.
Release date 96. February 27th, 1996.
Okay, so 96. So, yeah, I'm like, Ash can't age a little bit? I mean, at least make him a seasoned samurai age. Like, I'm now 22. Okay, give us some realistics. You've been through a lot for a 10-year-old. I mean, at 10 years old, you sit there and told your mom, I'm gonna go be a Pokemon trainer. Screw school. And she was like, have fun, honey. Just let your child go out in the wilderness with a pocket monster and didn't care what happened to him. Parenting of the year.
Yep.
That's why in Sun and Moon it's like a little bit better because he has a found mother and father, and Kukui and Burnett. to the point where even when he comes back in the next season and visits them again, they denote him as their son and show off their baby. It's like, here's your little brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to replace him. It's like you decided to go. You said, bump education. I'm going to be a Pokemon trainer. Well, we had to do right for the next one.
Anyways, no, that's the anime I'm looking at. Aside from the Pokemon rant, I'm looking forward to seeing what Spy X Family is like. And I gotta watch that soccer one because I think that dropped this morning. All the anime that we were supposed to be watching comes back next week.
Yeah.
Meaning we get to have the finale of Dragon Quest hurry up and finish. And we can go back and watching horrifying things happen to small children in Digimon.
Digimon, wow, that's still, how is that kid friendly? We literally watched one Digimon just break down another one and absorb him, literally and figuratively. Like, Ty, I kid you not, when I stand and tell you, like, when you saw a Digimon break down another Digimon in front of children and absorb it. And it's just the kids are horrified. I'm like, so we're going dark side. This is the dark side Digimon we're going to now.
This is darker than Tamers, and this isn't even midway. No one's gotten their ultimate forms yet.
Right.
It's just one kid has a Digimon that has 3 forms and a very evil, very violent 4th form.
Exactly.
It's like the equivalent of pulling out Kid Boo.
It might as well be Kid Boo because that thing.
Just shove a claw in Arukenmon's mouth and light her on fire from the inside out till she dies.
Yeah, that was uber dark. That was like on some Dead Space uber dark.
This is after she admits, like, oh yeah, I ate those men.
Mm-hmm.
I ate their brains and I gained their knowledge, and I'm going to do the same thing to you kids.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Then it's like, I was like, this is a family show.
This is supposed to be a family show. That's like saying the Punisher teaches us moral values.
No, it teaches us about gun safety.
Well, no argument there. No argument about that.
It's like, how's it about gun safety? If you give guns to Frank, you won't be safe.
More like if you give guns to Frank, he always checks the safety first. He never has a gun jam. It's always safety. It's always check the safety first.
This is true.
But no, that's just a shot to it because we already know it's going to be more Punisher, more Daredevil. We know in the realm of Disney Plus, those are going to have more. They're going to have more shows of those coming. Possibly Iron Fist may be retooled. Luke Cage may be recast. But that's going to be interesting. I think so. But I'm sorry, Joe. You go. I'm sorry to interrupt. You keep going.
Are we going to talk about Sonic?
Yeah, we can give a brief spread about Sonic 2 because I know me and you both seen it. You can go first as far as what you thought of it.
Oh, I enjoyed it. It's interesting to see a video game movie succeed a second time.
Mm-hmm.
I am very fearful if we do get a third movie, how that will go, because movie 2 seems to resolve all of Sonic's primary issues at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Knuckles was a beloved himbo idiot that I will enjoy. Not as dumb as the one from Sonic Boom, but he's there. Jim Carrey is a jewel and a treasure and must be protected at all costs until he retires.
Oh well, he did say after Sonic 2 that he was retiring. Like if he was going
to get him back for Sonic 3 just for a little bit.
Yeah, I think for Sonic 3 he will come back for that. But Ty, yeah, we don't. Like I said, I know. Have you seen Sonic 2? Or are you planning to see Sonic 2?
I'm not planning on seeing Sonic 2.
Oh, we can just go on. Well, shoot, you can go ahead. We can go on into it then.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: did you like the first Sonic movie?
I think I've only seen bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. I'm very weird about like them taking something that's a cartoon or animated and turn it into a live action. Mm-hmm. I just don't stick to it too well.
Okay, that's fair. Because yeah, me and Joe, we've seen Sonic 2. I loved it. I love the fact of how, I mean, to me, Knuckles stole the show because He was every bit that I hoped he would be. I was kind of concerned about how they would do the story with him and with Tails and with Sonic, and it's kind of going into a little bit of the Sonic storyline as far as the Master Emerald, which they did explain brilliantly. I'll give them that. They did actually solve the Chaos Emerald Master Emerald problem. We did see there were a few surprises in there, but I guess it was kind of foretelling because the Master Emerald was involved that we would see different characters. But I do agree with Joe on this, that it did wrap up Sonic's current story. And the special scenes, which, by the way, spoilers, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. There is an additional scene, and yes, it involves another character, which makes me wonder about the third movie. Now, again, when it comes to the trifectas, most trifecta movies don't do well. I mean, sometimes it's like, that's why I'm so afraid for John Wick. I'm so afraid for Chapter 4, just because 3 was quintessentially it. So now I'm worried because Chapter 4 and supposedly Chapter 5 is supposed to wrap it up. So, I mean, don't get me wrong about John Wick. John Wick is pretty much gun fu. I love gun fu movies. Mm-hmm. But 3, to me, was like pinnacle. You can't really beat that. Mm. So it's like, okay, if 3 was like Mount Everest, where do you go from here with 4 and 5? So Sonic is the same way. It's like after Sonic 2, you're just like, okay, if there is going to be a 3, will it live up to 2? That's where me and Joe are saying. It's like, if it is a 3, it's gonna be unless it's great script writing, which again, it was definitely done in this movie. I will just be curious to see what happens next. That's just me. But
I don't know what they're gonna do unless they introduce like a love interest in this time frame, or
well, that means they'll have to speed up a little bit to include what's her face, Amy.
Well, it would either be Amy or Sally.
Yeah, but
I mean, they left it open by saying Tails came from his home planet, so
yeah,
that means Tails came from Mobius.
Yeah. And he can always go back because they still have plenty of rings, so it's not like they cannot go back to said planet. But you're right. Jim Carrey, he stole. I mean, that man. I don't think anybody else could really pull off a Dr. Robotnik. I think he was the perfect vessel to do it. And
I liked all the Easter eggs involving him too. The coffee shop being called the Mean Bean.
Yeah,
you get to see classic Eggman in the. What is henchman? Let's just call him what he is. His Smithers.
Yeah.
His Smithers was going through outfits, and you see classic round Dr. Eggman.
Yes, and I love that part. And then he started to go with rocker / dressed by RuPaul. He's like,
I was gonna go with Megamind.
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that. But no, Ty, if you ever do change your mind, trust me, you will not be disappointed by Sonic 2. I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was really well done. If you ever find yourself at a movie theater, you want to watch it, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
It's one of the few movies that James Marsden is actually good in. Yeah, and it's also one of the few times where the crossing over does work out. And I can't believe we actually bullied the studio into making a better project.
Oh, by the way, Kelly did say, well, it's not like Sonic Hedgehog's not like Taken. I was like, dang.
I hope it doesn't do like Taken.
Well, I mean, Taken wasn't bad.
Taken 2 was horrible.
Well, I mean, Taken 2 was just the same plot in Taken 1. It's just a different person. It's a different hostage. It's like, you would think by now, it's like, once you get to Taken 3, it's just like, it's like, dude, you were like the worst protective agent ever. It's like how many more times is Liam Neeson going to have somebody taken away from him and then he's got to go track him down? I'm just saying. I think the sad part is I think they are making a Taken 4. I want to say that I'll probably look that up to be 100% accurate, but I think they are making a Taken 4. But anyway, but what else you got for us, Joe?
That's pretty much it right now. We can flow into comics if we want.
Yep, let's do it. Because I'm slowly trying to convince Ty to give Sonic 2 a chance.
We'll see. That's like the Chip and Dale movie. I'm like, it's not happening.
I'm trying to convince. Like I said, I thought it was great. And like I said before, it's like when it comes to video game adaptations, they don't have a good track record, a successful one at that. Don't get me wrong, we have our cheesy ones out there. You have your Mortal Kombats, you have your Street Fighters, you have your Tekkens, you have your DOAs, especially the ones directed by Yul Boll, and yet somehow this man keeps directing movies. I wish whoever Yul Boll knows, by the way, must have a crap load of cash. That's all I'm saying. Because every time Yul Boll directs something, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Because it's like he'll direct Blood Rain twice, and they're both crappy. It's just like Paul. It's just like who directed the first Resident Evil? Paul W.S. Anderson. I'm like, dude, never direct another Resident Evil movie again for as long as we live. Just can you promise us that? You've done it. Let it go. And the sad part is they're actually talking about doing another Resident Evil movie. Hopefully not with him. But I see you, Jamie. Go ahead and add your to the screen, Joe.
I'm waiting on you to add it.
Okay. I was making sure. Before I kicked it on there. All right, sir. Whenever you're ready.
So we got issue 10 of Moon Knight. This is written by Jed McKay. Art by Alejandro Capuccio and coloring by Rachel Rosenberg. This is the penultimate issue for the first arc.
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight is seeing his therapist in his Moon Knight persona as opposed to Mr. Knight, and narrating pretty much that he's been fighting someone that Hydra turned into a weapon, all while outing the therapist to be, I guess, his version of Clayface.
Yep, Waxman.
And then just does Waxman just absolutely dirty to learn where Zodiac is and where his therapist is.
Well, in his defense, he kind of had it coming.
Oh yeah,
he kind of had that coming.
He just does that man dirty, though.
I mean, well, he did say he did let him go, just not the way he intended. I mean, come on, he did let him go. Let's be honest. He's now just a permanent fixture.
Yep. What did he say? Death by gentrification.
Yes. I just love that part. He's like, so you're just gonna let him go? Yeah, he had it coming. Just day.
What'd you think?
Oh, me? Oh, dude, I was laughing. I was laughing the whole time. He's sitting there talking to his therapist till he realized, wait a second. He's like, you're not really who you say you are, aren't you? By whatever do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. And it's just the whole smile goes, well, crap, you figured me out. And you are right. Waxman is a I don't want to say a carbon copy, but let's
analog would probably be the best part.
Yeah. I mean, he is a great value version of Clayface, but I love the fact that he's like, okay, what are you gonna do now, Moon Knight? He's like, you can't. He's like, what? He's like, he's got him encased in this like steel safe ball looking thing, and he's like, you understand that I don't need food or oxygen. He goes, I know. I'm just having you here so you can't escape. And of course, the whole putting him as part of the building, the whole thing of death by gentrification killed me. But no, I love that episode. I love the fact that the same person he's describing is the same person that has the same agenda as he does. It's just to save the therapist. So it's kind of odd to see a person who was trained by S.H.I.E.L.D. be nothing more than a weapon now be his ally. But no, it was good. It was a good read. I thought it was great.
Next issue, we get to deal with Zodiac finally. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Moving on over, we got She-Hulk, written by Rainbow Rowell, art by Roger Antonio, and color by Luca Marsica.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think that's pronounced. This is Jen still getting back to basics. This is only a 6-issue miniseries, which kind of bums me out. I hope this gets expanded like Shang-Chi did. We get to learn a bit more about Jack Knight. We get to see one of Jen's old supporting cast from one of her older books come back, and Andy the Awesome, which is a dude with a center block for his head and communicates through a chalkboard.
Yeah.
We also learned that Jen's way of networking is to get on an old literal Rolodex.
Yeah. It's been a while.
We learned that Ben Grimm is seeking legal trouble because apparently Lockjaw thing is not obeying leash laws with Lockjaw,
Yeah.
and Ben has been ticketed multiple times, so he does need legal advice. And then Pietro immediately calls after hanging up, and it's like, so I got speeding tickets.
Pietro, you're still alive in the multiverse somewhere.
I know. And then it's just a nice back and forth between the two where they're kind of I still don't know if they're flirting with each other or not in this, honestly.
I called it. That was like the greatest life coaching session ever. It's like, tell us, you know what? You've been told by everybody what you are. Have you ever thought about what you wanted? Well, no. Let's make a list. It's like the whole thing of let's make a list of things that we know about you. It's just, don't get me wrong, I love the issue just because it did show Jack of Hearts in a different light, even though, yeah, his mind is kind of in shambles. And at the same time, Jennifer kind of looks at him and kind of sees herself as being lost and not full of confidence and stuff like that. And he's like, have you ever forgiven me for what happened in Idaho? Yes, it wasn't your fault. But no, I thought that was
I also like this running gag they have between the two where she brings up, it's like, oh, I don't need that. Have you thought about it? He's like, oh yeah. It's like, maybe you should take it. It's like, have you ever showered? It's like, well, I can't take the suit off because it contains the radiation. It's like, have you tried? It's like, what about going to the bathroom? I don't need to. And then he just like looks down. I really need to pee.
He's like, when he's like,
he doesn't say it, but it's just one of those faces like, I really got to use the restroom now that I become self-aware of it.
It's like now it's like being told that you're hungry for the first time. It's like, oh dear God, that's what it feels like. No, it was good though. I dig it though. Ty, what about you? Are you a fan of She-Hulk or just
I don't think I've read much of She-Hulk. So I just really haven't checked any She-Hulk comic books out.
This new run is being a limited miniseries. Hopefully, like I said, reiterate myself. I hope this gets expanded upon and used because I think you dig it. It's just She-Hulk being back to the sensational She-Hulk of the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Big hair and everything.
I'm fairly certain next issue we are getting the Frenemy Fight Club going.
Yeah. I can see that.
So I really, really like this book. It's a treasure.
Still the whole thing about it's like I'm discovering that I need to use the restroom. It's like that's like one moment where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna need a moment. Oh, but no, it was funny.
Next up, we got Strange #2. This is written by Jed McKay, art by Marcelio Ferreira, and inker by Don Ho. Colorist is Jada Targiglia. We get that giant fight with Thunderstrike, and just as always, Thunderstrike disappoints.
It's kind of sad for a name like Thunderstrike and the fact
I know. I mean, when you're knockoff Thor, can you really expect that much?
Especially as a zombie at that. That's the sad part. You're a zombie and you still disappoint.
I think the thing I liked most about this is she still talks the way Steven used to before he gave up with all those like ridiculous Silver Age stuff.
By the hoary hounds of Hearth.
Yeah, like it's nothing but Steven's old like surprise onomatopoeia, like goofy sentences.
Yeah.
And like the Harvestman, I still don't even know if he's a bad guy or just a benign force.
I would say he's more great. I would say Great Jedi. Because he only acts as the bidding of death, but let's be honest, when he commits, he commits.
I don't know, like, how does death keep getting these guys? Like, seriously. We have a good talk in which one was it? Yeah. Scarlet Spider of the Vegas years. Like when death comes to Ben, even she's like, I don't know why these guys keep coming to me. I don't want anything to do with them.
Death must have like Cardi B appeal apparently. She has to at this point because I'm like, you had Thanos come after you. Thanos was willing to wipe out an entire universe just to get your attention.
True.
Well, yeah, but she even points out that it's like he wasn't doing it for me. He's doing it for his own vanity under my name.
Yeah, but tell him that. He's like, I only do this to appease Death, and Death is like, it's not you, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Death pretty much says like one of her very few people she actually does love is Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Deadpool just has that ability just to pull women just for no reason. He's like, the only woman I ever love is dead. No, literally, she's dead. She's actual death. It's like,
and then my wife is a monster queen.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay.
But back to this, great book. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of bummed out that the end of the book, like, I do like she has her nice little chat with Bats and Wong.
Yeah.
After everything. That was fun too. And then we get the goblin from the market. He's like, so those guys came back? And then it's like, why? I said this was under my protection. Like, yeah, you weren't there to enforce it. She's like, has Earth ever had a warlord? Because they're about to have a warlord.
Right. And she's like, I'm the blood of the dark. It's like, I came from the blood of the darkness. It's like, they won't respect me. I was like, oh God, that's a full tilt Strange. It was a crazy episode. It was a crazy read. I still think the Harvestman will make another appearance in this.
Oh yeah.
But no, I liked it. It was a good read.
My favorite Doctor Strange character is still Bats the Ghost Dog.
Wong with the sass is still mine. But
oh yeah, Wong with the sass is still good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got the season 2 of Marauders.
Mm-hmm.
This is now the X of Destiny. We have a new team in many different ways. Now we have Steve Orlando as writer, Eleonora Carlini as artist, Matt Milia as colorist. Our new Marauders are, of course, Captain Kate Pride, Bishop as her first mate. Now we have Psylocke, Dakin, Aurora, Tempo, and a new character, Somnus.
Yeah.
Which I am very unfamiliar with. I don't know where he's come from or anything. And also Cassandra Nova, Professor Xavier's twisted twin, who
the original Dr. Death
was straight up Yzma in this issue. Even looks like Yzma.
That was after her little lobotomy by Jean Grey. I'm not surprised by that.
Well, we learned that she didn't really get fully lobotomized. So remember when Jean comes, is like, "Oh God, you're not fixed at all." And just looks at you, he's like, "Be a dear and clean this up. I'm going with them."
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was weird. It's like, you're gonna bring back the original Dr. Death. I was like, yeah, she's trained. No, she's not. It's like a lot of things she is. Trained ain't one of them. And saying ain't either.
We had so many fun things. We get homage to Captain Harlock because the Marauders are now going to be spacefaring Marauders.
Yeah.
As they need to go to the Shi'ar Empire to claim the blood of the first mutants, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
And we learn that they have to fight against the kingdom of is it the Crimson Guard?
Yeah, well, the Red Guard.
And the Red Guard, and has to immediately fight Eric the Red. I do like that Cassandra Noah just totally calls all these psychics BS. Like, no, I'm fine. I'm not going to kill anybody. Psylocke stabs her with a knife. Like, well, at least she believes she's not going to kill anybody.
That was the funny part. Psylocke just looked at us like, I can't. It's like beating somebody's lie detector test. It's like, I can't tell if you're telling the truth, or if you believe that you're telling the truth. Either way, this is not working.
I still have no clue who this Somnus kid is either.
I was going to do some research on that, but I kind of forgot.
Psychic or what?
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
But good start off for Marauders. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good move to take them to space, because I think that's where X of Destiny is going to start taking us more is do more space stuff, because X-Men is also at times a very large space opera.
Yeah, true. especially what they're trying to do between that and Krakoa. So I'm not surprised by that.
All right. Somnus is an LGBTQ mutant hero, written by Steve Orlando. There we go. What do you do, child? Name is Carl Valentino. And that is all we got. Or are you kidding me?
They got to give him as very little direction as humanly possible.
Hours.
Able to broadcast and even control dreams at will.
Oh, he's a dream weaver.
Able to enter their dreams.
Oh, so he's a dream walker. Well, I guess it's the term you want to go with, is dream walker. Unless you're going Nightmare on Elm Street. Also not a bad movie, though.
He was also at one point Dakin's love interest in 1967. How old is this character?
No, he's immortal.
Oh, he's immortal?
I'm just taking a wild guess. I'm looking at how they draw. I'm like, if that's how they're trying to make him. I don't know if that's a fact, but it's like, dude might be immortal.
He may be an external, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed this. I was a big Marauders fan. I can't wait to see the Marauders being in space. Moving on over, X-Men Red. This is written by Al Ewing, art by Stefano Caselli, and colors by Federico Blee. Stuff be happening up on Mars. Magneto quits the Quiet Council and tries to pick his successor. Emma says, "Get the F out. You don't get to pick." We also get to see that from Immortal X-Men bleeds over into this because we now find out that Hope is taking Magneto's spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, yeah, the five we're starting to ask questions. You guys literally can't be reborn without us, so we're going to start having a say in the matters. Meanwhile, Storm, still regent of Mars and voice of the solar system, she is fighting. I guess I don't know. You may have to help me with this one. Is this an internal struggle, or is there an Iraqi mutant that just is mimicking her?
The latter.
Oh, it is the latter?
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to tell a couple times because I couldn't tell. I was like, is this in Storm subconscious or not? Or
no, because I thought at first who she was fighting was the Nameless, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're fighting Nameless for the right for Krakoa? And I'm like, no, that's not the Nameless. It would have to be a being that was already there. But the whole thing about, you're fighting for this throne, you only want power, but you know nothing of this planet, you know nothing of this land, and it's like it was kind of messing with her throughout the issue. Was the whole thing, like every word that was said to her was like, you only want thrones, and you only want crowns and thrones, and you don't care anything about this, that you'll eventually become me. It's like that kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. Like no matter what you try to do, you're gonna basically become me.
Meanwhile, Magneto just moves to Mars.
That was funny.
Yeah. Happens upon a fisherman guy who is like no mutant. Not a mutant, so Max, or not Max. Well, yes, technically Max, because he himself was Max. Still can't get over that one. It's like, so you're a human? It's like, well, there are other species that look like you guys from other areas of the galaxy. But no, I have no mutant powers. Like, and they leave you alone. It's like, I mean, they don't bother me with the least.
That tells me that's a respect level. It's like, wait a second, you're not a mutant, but they leave you alone. Nah, there's something to that. There's a reason why you're left alone.
I do like Magneto makes his house, and there's like, it's gonna use few throw pillows.
God, that inside joke.
Meanwhile, over on another part in the spaceport, we see Sunspot is back from Secret X-Men. So I guess Secret X-Men may be a one-shot. May have been a one-shot. Running his bar where Vulcan comes in, and Vulcan is just nuts again.
Mm-hmm.
because he has too many Shi'ar people, and he's like, everyone's forgotten me. I never gave up the throne. Back from when Realm of Kings.
Yeah.
And then he just gets immediately punked out by Thunderbird.
That was still funny because he's like, you remember? He's like, you should follow your brother. He's like, you should follow your brother's footsteps. I was like, oh.
No, I like when Cable comes in and turns off his uncle's like, sorry, Uncle Gabe. And then just points and is like, look, it's not your fault. You had another plane to catch while your brother was living his better life without your shadow. And he's like, there were a lot of F-bombs in this issue.
Oh, it was just the burn behind it. The burn is what killed me. He says you had a plane to catch while your brother was here. Dang. Oh, there was so much below the belt shots in between that whole conversation. It was funny.
This is why Thunderbird's getting his own one shot X-Men giant sized Thunderbird later on down the road.
Yeah,
because they are just gonna have fun with him because he has been one of the few people that have never really been brought back in Marvel since his death.
Yeah. Yep, that's about right.
So now it's just down to now it's just down to Marvel and Uncle Ben.
Although I did love the conversation between the Fisher King and Magneto. That was funny. Yeah. It was like, that was more like, do you even know why you're here? He says, honestly, I'm just tired. Honestly, I'm just trying to build utopias only to have them burn down, to have my brothers die in front of me. And the Fisher King's like, well, try something different. It's like the whole life lesson moment. Like, try something different. See how it feels. But no, I did dig that. But the whole
Abigail Brand, because we do know that Abigail Brand is working for Orochis.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Abigail Brand is also working exclusively for Abigail Brand because Abigail doesn't really care about either side. She just wants what's good for not only herself but spacefarers because she denotes herself as a spacer above all others.
Yeah.
Above all things. And I already guarantee you, Storm knows that she's working both sides. I guarantee it.
Although I did love Storm's look. I did love the fact that punk rock Storm was brought back.
Yeah, so Sunspot comes to see Magneto, and Mag's like, "How did you find me?" It's like, I own a bar. Everyone talks at a bar. Then Storm just wanders in her like fusion 80s form, where she's got the clothes but she doesn't have the mohawk.
Yeah.
And I guess she's forming the Brotherhood of Mutants on Mars.
Yeah, because what's her face wanted her to form an X-Men on Mars. She's like, no, the X-Men idea failed. He said, what did she say? I'm not going to do what Xavier failed to do. But I'm not gonna, that's what she says. I'm not gonna do what Xavier failed to do, but I am going to build a brotherhood. And I was like, well, I mean, she is the voice of Soul, so I mean, you can do it.
I cannot wait to read more of this. And next week we get Knights of X and Legion of X.
Yep.
So we get some more good X-Men stuff. It's been going around. We do have a special thing because Will and I read this, and I have deep thoughts about this. So we have,
I'm sorry. That was terrible and sounded menacing laughter, but go ahead, Joe.
We have some amazing Spider-Man number 93, written by Zeb Wells, art by Patrick Gleason, and coloring by, I cannot remember the person's first name, but it's Valencia. So this is a finale to the Beyond saga, which kind of bums me out, but, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Eventually... Ben gets a hold of the helmet that took away his memories and is asking Peter, hey, put this on so I can take your memories and make myself whole again. I don't know what it's going to do to you, but be a bro and help me out.
Right.
Pete's like, no. Ben just attacks him as a giant fight between Ben and Peter, as it always is going to be.
Yeah.
Maxine is checking out of the Beyond Corporation. Janine saves Marcus. So we don't know what happens to Marcus down below, but the fight just escalates to where the Beyond Corporation building is coming down around the Spider Bros. And eventually Ben loses and sinks into
that group, whatever that stuff is.
virtually reactive ectoplasm.
Yeah.
And, you know, all things are good for Peter. Ben is gone to everyone's knowledge, buried alive or buried to death. We don't know which. We get to see MJ asking Peter, hey, do you want to move in? And then I guess God is saying, hey, something's going on. Meanwhile, poor Ben, Janine found him. And now he's going to be Peter's new Venom
Chasm.
by being Chasm.
Chasm. I'm sorry.
I
Every
think
time
the
I see that, I'm
costume
like,
is just, you know, Peter doesn't have really good track when people are dressed in green and purple in his life.
right.
It's Ben becomes basically the new Venom because ever since Donny Cates took over, Ben is disassociated from Spider-Man. Like he's interacting with Peter maybe once in a light brunch where both Peter and Eddie had to fight like some poor guy who decided to rob the bodega they were at.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, Venom is now entirely disassociated from Spider-Man. So
Sony plan
Ben is now the new Venom against all things.
Yeah.
On top of that, I don't think he's in full control because Ben is telling himself to stop putting on the mask while this is going on. And I think the ectoplasm on the mask that is forming the eyes also can make out that hollowed out face that Ben always sees.
Yeah. So it's a duality thing.
Yeah, we're running into an interesting dynamic. And, you know, Zeb Wells is going to be continuing writing it. Unfortunately, the new book is going to have John Romita Jr., so everyone's going to look like they're from Legoland. I just don't like John Romita Jr.'s art. He makes everyone look very square in the head.
Like he can't draw feet?
No, he's better than Rob Liefeld. It's just, if you look at his art, if you Google John Romita Jr., you'll see what I'm talking about.
I see what you're saying, but overall, I get it. It's a very closed off ending to Ben Reilly, but I mean, it was probably one of the better Spider-Man stories out there. But yeah, to turn him into Venom-esque Slimer properties, I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, it does introduce a new character into the Spider-Verse. It's just that I'm just not sure if this is the route we want to go, but time will tell on that. But again, like I said, I love the entire Beyond story, but yeah, it was a good read. I mean, the ending, I have mixed feelings about the ending, but it wasn't a bad ending. But
I do too. You know, honestly, and this has got repeated on far more popular comic book podcasts and whatnot. But I would have liked if this ended like Ben hops on his motorcycle, Genie just goes, where to? And Ben's like, you know, I hear Portland's good this time of year.
That would have been better. That would have been way better.
And that way we could have West Coast Spider-Man and East Coast Spider-Man.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The powers that be are not going to let that happen. But it was still a good episode. It was still a good issue either way.
I mean, I agree that Peter needs a Venom analog in his life. I just wish it wasn't Ben. For the sake of them doing stuff. Like, I know Ben's also getting a new book down the road.
Yeah.
That got accidentally leaked by JMD Mateus a little in a podcast a while ago that he's getting a Chasm book.
But still,
just don't agree with the name too. But you know, we're running low on names here in comic book world. I'm also thinking they're kicking themselves for calling Gwen Stacy Ghost Spider because Ben looks more Ghost Spider-y than Gwen does.
Can't argue that.
No, that's all the comics I got for this one. Lots of good. One thing questionable. Next week we'll have hopefully some DC because this was very Marvel heavy. Hopefully return to the Amazons. I know Green Lantern 12 got pushed back to May. I don't even know if that's the final issue or that's the issue of the arc, but you know. Trial of the Amazons. That's the one I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah, we gotta have Ty. We gotta have Ty back on for that one once she reads it through because I still want to know her opinions on that because my favorite character. I just hope they don't kill her off. That's just me. But
let's just say this time when you get to the Wonder Girl thing, you got to tell us how you feel about eating chicken.
Okay, I'll message y'all.
There's a running gag on that.
I'll message y'all. I'll probably finish them next week, so I'll message y'all next week about it.
That's cool. We definitely want to bring you back on to definitely do that. But as we usually say, guys, please support your local comic book stores. Ours is Rick's Comic Book City here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, please check them out. They were voted #1 comic book store in Middle Tennessee. They have 3 locations: Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Donaldson. Definitely check them out. Support your local comic book stores wherever you can. Or if you're unable to get to a comic book store, go to your local library. Your local library still has all the most up-to-date comics, anime, media out there. And even in 2022, for the price of $1, you can still get a library card and check it out and get to still read and watch to your heart's content. So definitely support your comic book store, support your local libraries, as there are still areas to where you can definitely get your comic book fix on. But with that being said, we're actually going to go ahead and call it a wrap on this. So, Ty, anything that you want to let the people know what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table and what's coming down the pipe for you?
Nothing new, really. I'm just focusing on putting out some Morbius characters, continuing putting out some Black characters, hopefully some more unknown characters or not the most popular characters out there. So just check me out on IG at curly_n_nerdy.
Cool, because I do look forward to what you bring. You actually bring up some characters sometimes that I've either completely forgotten about or never heard of. And I go back whenever I see you point something out on IG, is go back and look at it. I'm like, oh, yeah. I did not know that.
Good.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for learning. Like I said, although I have Joe right here next to me, whose comic book knowledge vastly outdoes mine. But I always love hearing it from different areas, as far as characters, as far as books, as far as stories, because I'm a big story person. So anything that gets my attention, I'm definitely into it. But Joe, what do you got going on for the week, sir? And what's happening with the gaming channel, sir?
Probably more Elden Ring.
You actually got a lot farther on Elden Ring than I have. I have to get back on it.
Makes you say that.
Oh, dude, I have been slacking. I've been playing Kirby and the Forgotten. I've been playing the new Kirby game, and I've kind of not gotten back to Elden Ring in a while.
So what you're telling me is I'm fighting against a dark god, and you're using a dark god.
Yes, I am.
Why am I zoomed in?
Oh, I thought you had something you wanted to plug. I was giving you the spotlight.
Oh, okay. I just looked at the computer. It's like, why am I zoomed in?
It's the spotlight time, sir.
Twitch over at Joe Italian last name. I said it'll probably be Elden Ring for a while. The only problem is I'm getting a little bit burned out on not knowing where to go next. I find that is this game's greatest flaw is you are not given like a hard direction. Like I understand there are touches of grace that give you like a gentle nudge in the direction, but like I need something a bit more structured, not like funneling me or putting me on rails like Final Fantasy X, but just like a gentle, more firmer, hey, you beat X, go to Y.
A slight guiding, if you will.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Other than that, not too much. Maybe a deck profile down the road on Total Justice Gaming. I might do something for the YouTube channel. Excuse me. It's been an exhausting day. Other than that, no, I don't have too much going on. Just, gotta go get my books next week and just keep on reading, seeing what's good in comics.
Cool. Well, I know the place we usually go to, they're going to be looking forward to you anyway at Rick's Comic Book City. So
They always do.
They always look forward to you. So so thank you for that, Joe, and thank you again for that, Ty. A few other shots we want to do, guys. We do want to shout out R&G Present Geek Style for allowing us to share our podcast on their page. You can definitely check them out on Facebook as well as YouTube. R&G Present Geek Salad. Also, shout out to Vaughn, Big BZA on all socials, Levon Westwood on Facebook. Definitely check him out as well. Of course, my IG handle that you see in the corner, BlackFox447. You can definitely follow me there on Instagram, as I do give reviews of movies, video games, television shows, and do gym stuff because I do a couple push-ups. Also, at the same time, guys, in 2022, I am all about positivity, moving people forward, really getting past the bad stuff, really exercising the positive, always exercising the good, showing kindness, things of that nature, which I try to do on social media, and hopefully encourage you to do the same. Aside from that, guys, as you can see the trailer at the bottom, of course, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. If you copy and paste that browser into your browser, we'll take you to our link tree that has the YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Fact We Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, the Off Limits podcast. You can definitely like, share, and basically see every podcast we've done so far because they usually upload just a little bit after every show. But definitely like and let people know what's going on. Aside from that, well, like I said before, we are working on new things, new intros, new overlays, things of that nature. Always trying to have guests on, which again, thank you, Ty, for being on. You can definitely find her on her IG at Curly_in as a Nancy_nerdy. Definitely check her out. Because like I said, she is a fountain of information, of animes, of comic books, of characters that you may or may not know. It's just cool to actually see someone that wants to make sure that the forgotten characters get noticed, and we're still hoping she sees Sonic the Hedgehog too. So, fingers crossed. Aside from that, guys, again, thank you all for watching. I know, like I said before, I appreciate everybody that likes, that comments, that shares, lets people know we're live. Certainly appreciate it. Last thing to say before we get out of here, guys, aside from, please mask up when you're still going out. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Aside from that, just be kind, be nice, be decent. It takes zero energy to be nice, but it takes 100% to be it takes 100% of your energy to be a dick. So like I said before, be kind to yourselves and each other. I know it's like a Jerry Springer, but that's all really I got. So with that being said, Joe, Ty, anything else before we call tonight?
No, go watch new anime, have fun.
Go watch new anime and have fun. It's what he has. I gotta show that clip of how he broke me with that Commander Shepard line. But anyway, with that being said, again, thank you, Ty, for being on. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Get Bit podcast tonight, guys. We will hopefully see you guys next Friday. Same Get Bit time, same Get Bit YouTube channel. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will all get through this. Peace.